Hello, welcome back to 1920 Gaming. This is the manager's journey in FIFA 20 career mode. It's season 3 of the Kilmarnock part of the journey, but all in all we're actually at season 7 now already if you include the Warsaw part of what we've done. It's absolutely crazy to think about how quickly we've got to this point. It has been one hell of a journey and I am still loving it as much as I did from the very first video. Still get as nervous and excited and all of that lot, so that's definitely a good sign. Today's episode, obviously like I said, starts a new season. We're actually going to play our first league game today as well. There's a lot of other bits and pieces to think about during the meantime as well. We are still in the transfer window, as you can see. Pre-season's all done and dusted, and for those who didn't see that, it is up on the channel right now. Things that happened in the closed season, just to start by getting everyone back up to speed. As you can see, Wilson and Ince have both now left the club. It is a shame to get rid of Ince, especially after the season that he did have. But the time has come, as you can see there. I think that is his age because it wasn't his number. He's 29 now. So either this season or the season after he would have started declining. He didn't improve at all last season stats wise, so someone coming with an offer, it would have been stupid to not cash in while we could. As still we're in that part of our journey where we are a selling club, we have to keep that in mind as well. So yeah, he had to go. Wilson as well complained about the amount of football he wasn't getting last season. Despite the fact that he played more games than the season before, he was still becoming more and more unhappy. So he had to go as well. It has left us a bit thin, as you can see. At the moment it's just thinking about where to improve, how to improve, and this, that and the other. We will uncover later on in the episode our budgets and everything that we've got to work with as well. There's still a lot of time. There's about a month and a half of the transfer window left yet, so as ever in this career mode, we're not rushing into panic signings or anything like that, except for this man here, Balbuena. He's a 61 overall, guys. He played 5 games in pre-season and got 7 goals. He is an absolute monster. He's scoring for fun. He's actually really surprised me. The combination of him up front and Junior, our young Brazilian behind him, they struck up was ridiculous really in the pre-season. They just seemed to complement each other really well straight from the off, which is definitely a good thing for us. Those were our only 2 real panic buys of the entire career mode, and both of them have turned out to be little hidden gems in a way, both way above what their overall size they are. So yeah, lots of positives to take from pre-season. We got a nice 4.7 million added onto our budget as well. So yeah, we've got stuff to work with. We've got things to get through in this episode. So now all that's out the way, we'll start getting into the meat of it properly. And the first thing that I want to mention is there is more players that I am willing to get rid of, as we're just looking at the squad at the moment. Those players are Akore. Probably Butland won't be this season, but maybe next season, because it'll give Silva a whole season more of development. And O'Donnell as well. And none of that is based on performance, because O'Donnell and Akore were really good for us last season and the season before. So it's nothing to do with the way they've played. Same sort of thing as Inch really. We need to cash in on them before they start declining. Also, I'd be looking to get rid of, for the right money, Cameron, Millen, Waters and Thomas, just because their overalls don't seem to be going nowhere fast. And during the pre-season you can really tell when we rotate. They all did play the pre-season games, but there's a couple of times that I had to sub in the first 11 players to get us out of trouble. So that's something to keep an eye out for. Players coming in, well, it depends who leaves really. we're probably at some point gonna now have to replace Ince. Cruz is up there at the moment, which is absolutely fine, but we've got to give him a few games probably, which will be coming in this episode, to see whether he's gonna be as good as Ince or not. Wilson, we don't really necessarily need to replace him. So looking at the squad, our weakest area is right back, which is why, as you can see, I've added a lot of right backs onto the shortlist at the moment. The free agents we touched on in the close season, we're still waiting for the information back on them. So yeah, it's just at the moment we've got things in motion, things in place, but it's just waiting for it all to fall into place, really. As for the games in this episode, we've got Motherwell to kick off the season. As you can see there, we've actually got Champions League qualifiers in this episode, guys, and we've got another game in the league against Rangers of all teams. So I'm thinking probably the plan for the way the games are going to work, even though it's kicking off the season, the Motherwell game is probably going to be highlights. The Rangers game will be full. Probably the first leg of the Champions League qualifier will be a full game as well, and depending how we get on, the second leg will probably be highlights if we can get the job done in the first. So that is the plan. We'll start moving towards the games now. Also, things that have happened in this episode is we have instructions from above that we need to really concentrate on getting the youth academy open by next season. That is an absolute must. That's come from the board, and probably in January we'll look at trying to get another couple of scouts in as well, depending what the money's like. But during the discussions with the board, we are definitely going to need to invest in the squad based off the evidence of the end of last season. And since then, like I say, we've had Ince and Wilson leave as well. So yeah, definitely we need to invest in the squad, but we have got to keep in mind that we need to keep pushing the club forward as well. Again, that's come from above, so it needs to be done. And I think that at the moment pretty much covers about everything, so we can start now moving towards the Motherwell game. We've had the actual information back on the free agents now, and after gliding over them, this guy here, he's okay athletically, but again, not super exciting. You got Marky here as well. What I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna sort these by age, so hopefully they'll all come to the top, and then if we get rid of any off the list, it won't keep resetting itself like it did just. So yeah, we'll keep him for now on the list. This guy's 56 overall, but I do like his weak foot. He's pretty solid athletically, and yeah, technically he's not great, but he is only, I think he was 17. This guy having low attacking work rates, for the way that I want to set up this year, is probably not going to be good enough. As you know, towards the end of last season, in preparation for this season, I did start getting the fullbacks to bomb on, so they are going to need high work rates, definitely, and a lot of stamina. So yeah, he's probably not going to be fitting that bill either with his low attacking work rates. And the other guy, I think, had low work rates, if I remember rightly. I can't see it properly from there, but I do know that in the end we didn't bother keeping any of them on the list when we got the full information back, so we won't be going in for any of them. which means that we end up looking and waiting for the information to come back on the right backs that we've added. And while we wait for those, I don't think they come back before the first game, so I might just skip ahead now to the Motherwell game and get the season kicked off. So we have jumped straight into the highlights now. I'm glad that I chose highlights for this one. In terms of the performance in general, really good, kept a lot of the ball. But as you know, we kind of struggle against Motherwell all of the time, same with Hearts, and it proved to be that sort of game again. That is the full highlights, guys. We dominated the game, got the goal, kept a clean sheet, and that was the game in a nutshell. Yeah, so it wasn't a bad way to start. Cruz is off the mark in his first game, which is good to see. We get a clean sheet in the first game, also a positive. We get the win, kept lots of the ball, did create a few chances, but the game itself was pretty bad, to be honest. But that's behind us now. We've got to look forward. We got the 3 points, which is one of the most important things, and we now have, at last, it's took us 7 seasons to get here, we've got that glorious blue background, which means that we are now going into our first ever Champions League game. I am really excited for that. It's been a long time coming. Obviously, it's not a proper Champions League game at the moment. We've still got work to get into the proper tournament. But yeah, it is so good to see that. It really is. Hopefully, we are gonna, because of Rangers being next, do something a little bit controversial. I mean, Champions League game, first ever one away. It's Legia Warsaw that we're against. But we are going to take the press conference as well. But we're going to rotate the team, guys, massively. We have to. You saw what happened, hopefully, if you was here for that towards the end of last season. Rangers gave us a humbling, and although it's really good and really exciting to be in the big competition, we can't afford to be inconsistent and dropping points. We have to learn from last season's mistakes, and it's more important to me that we qualify for the Champions League again next season, just in case we don't even make it through this season. So that's the thinking. The team is going to get a rotation. Hopefully we can still get the job done. We've got Rangers in a few days, but then once the Rangers game's out the way, hopefully we can go and get the points in that. If we can, then if things are bad here but manageable, hopefully we can put the first team out again and win the game at home, if that's what we have to do. But we will soon find out, because we're about to jump into that game right now. It's obviously going to be the first 11. Tactics for this one is going to be the same as they were against Motherwell. We're going to have the full-backs pushing on. We're going to have all the free rolls. We're going to be high up the pitch. We're going to press the ball high as well. So yeah, it's going to be full on. I don't know too much about Warsaw or their players, if I'm being honest. So it's just a case of we're going to go out there and we're going to play our own game and see whereabouts that takes us. You can see the rotations going in now. We've got Cameron starting in this one. Junior, our Brazilian, starts behind Cameron. Seedorf comes in for Hazard. Thomas is fitter of the two wingers, so he stays in. We've got Waters and Millen coming in, and we've got our young Spaniard in the middle where you would normally play. That's what we're going to rock with, guys. Let's go and get this game kicked off. Look at that ball. Just look at it. It's absolutely glorious. This is so exciting for me as well. I only play this game to record these videos with because of work commitments. I don't really get time to do much gaming other than this. So this is my very first Champions League experience, and I'm really happy to be sharing it with you guys. Hopefully it's a positive one for us and we get a positive result, which for me today, if I'm being completely honest, I would take probably a draw here. I'd like to get an away goal, and I'd also like to think that if we have to, we can beat these at home. But we'll just have to wait and see in terms of overall, and the fact that we've not got our first team out, like overall ratings and stuff like that. I don't know where they stack up next to us, so we'll just have to wait and see how the game goes. That is a glorious ball. What a run and what a finish. And 5 minutes in to our Champions League lives, we are 1-0 up. That is absolutely ridiculous. And this guy, what can you say about him? He's one of the panic boys. That ball though, that was probably the best pass that I've had on this game, period. And what a time for it to come as well. But yeah, this guy Junior, he's absolutely just something different. His overall does not reflect his performances in the slightest. He's 5 minutes into his Champions League career, just as we are, and he's opened his account. That is absolutely crazy stuff. And yeah, now I was just saying I'd accept a draw. We're now obviously 1 up. We've got our away goal, if they even count at this point. I imagine that they would do. But yeah, we're in a really strong position now early on, as long as we don't go and concede here, which, well, we've given a free kick away, which is not good. I personally myself didn't think that was a foul, but I am biased obviously. We had the ball clear, it comes back in, and the tame shot there goes wide. So yeah, good start at the moment. Actually, I think that was a really good challenge. It must have been, because it's a corner. On the replay, you couldn't see it in real time, but on the replay you saw that he did get his toe to it. That is really good defending. They're moving the ball nicely here, Warsaw. We have eventually got it. Can we get away on the counter now, maybe? Cameron's got the ball. I thought it might chip that one over the top, but no. It's a good ball out though. Spread the play nicely there, and we start building again. And we are just over the half an hour point now in the game, and I'll tell you what, this has been a really tough game. We're not in it's really strange. It doesn't feel like we're in any danger of oh, hold on, just hold the phone for a minute, because it could be 2 here. It is 2, and it's Junior again. This guy is just eating up Champions League qualifying at the moment. He's shushing everyone. It's too easy for him. Oh man, yeah, panic buy, free transfer, unbelievable. Just makes the right run here. It wasn't the greatest ball into him, but he makes the best of it. Once he gets clear of the defender, keeper's got no chance. He's basically right on top of him, and he goes and bangs in our second goal. Definitely that one against the run of play, but we have been clinical today. That's probably, in all honesty, probably our only second or third chance of the game, and we're 2-0 up, so we've been really good, really clinical in front to goal. As long as that continues, we should be fine. Because we really, I was just saying it, we're not creating that many chances. We're actually struggling to keep the ball. It's been a really even first half. Yeah, we've been dominating all of our games as of late, but not this one. This one's been real tough. As you would expect, it's Champions League after all. But yeah, that just gives us a bit of breathing space now, so hopefully we can settle ourselves down and take this result back to Scotland with us, hopefully. Being 2 up and 2 away goals would be absolutely ideal, but there could be more for us here, because Junior's on his bike again. He just breezes past the defender there. It's a good ball out to Thomas, who's took a bit too long with it. The pass weren't great either. It's rescued by Millen though, and after all that we still don't get a shot off at goal. They whack it clear, and that's probably going to be the end of the first half, I would imagine, guys. Not a lot's happened in the second so far. The first thing of note is the changes that have been made. Yeah, it's been a really pretty dull second half. They've probably accepted 2-0 and don't concede anymore. Try and nick one maybe. We've been really passive when we've had the ball. We haven't been as direct. It's been a case of how it was in the first half really. We have struggled to create against them. Cameron, as you can see, has come off now for Balbuena, and there you go. 3-0. Just as I finish what I was saying, the move happened really quickly. And yeah, I would say we've pretty much qualified now, guys. I'm confident enough that this, as if it stays like this, would be enough to take the second leg back to our place, and it'll be highlights. I'd be really disappointed if we were to give a 3-goal lead away now. So yeah, as things stand, we're going back to Scotland in a really strong position. Just a thing of note as well, Thomas I found really disappointing in the opening game of the season against Motherwell. He's had another bad game today. I don't know what's happened to him. Oh, we could be in again here now for 4, but keeper saves it this time. Yeah, I don't know what's happened to him. In close season and the review of last season, we were talking about how he performed above what I thought he did. But this season, he's made quite a few unforced errors. He's not able to get away from people. He's not declined in his overall, so I really don't understand what's going on there at the moment. But it's just a thing to keep in mind, because we are in the transfer window. He needs to improve his performances really if he wants to keep his place here. But yeah, it's just something to keep an eye on that. It's just a little thing of note. Now I've said it out loud, it'll stick in my head as well. So yeah, with 10 minutes left, we're in complete control of this one now. It feels a little bit like Warsaw have almost gave up, and it's just a matter of, can we put it to bed here once and for all. Here is Thomas that we just mentioned. He's done quite well there, to be fair, but final ball wasn't great. It's pretty much really all he could do there, I suppose, and Legia bring it away. And they're coming down this right hand side where we've really struggled today. Thomas being out of form and having Millen and not O'Donnell behind him has really exposed the weakness down that side. Our attacks have broke down that side, and they keep attacking down it as well. There's a few times where Millen's just not been able to catch up. He's out of position again here at the moment. He's not even coming to his man, which means we've had to drag a guy out. But that will do it. It is ended 3-1. For some reason there's no footage of their goal, which is really weird. But they did get one. It did come from across down that side. I'm not exactly sure what's happened to it or where it's gone. But yeah, they did break down the left. Millen was caught out of position. It was crossed in, and there was a header. But yeah, this is still a good enough result to take back to Scotland, and we'll only have highlights of the second game, guys. And we're just going to jump into this little press conference here now and just absorb all of our first experience in the Champions League. They're saying that we won by 2 goals, are we now through? And if I'm being honest, I've got to say yes to that. I really believe we're in a really strong position to go and qualify now. So yeah, it'd be lying to say anything else. They're asking about Seedorf's form here, which to me didn't have a special game or anything like that. So yeah, we'll just answer that one. Just saying he's got to keep doing what he's doing basically. But for me, he didn't stand out. But this guy, this guy stood out. He's basically single-handedly put us through, for me, to qualifying. He's definitely earned the rest of the players in that side a game in the next leg as well, since we don't have to worry about it too much. So all in all, really good Champions League debut for us, I think. And that just leaves us a couple of days now away from this Rangers game that's coming up. Obviously we're going to go back to the first team for this game today. Quite nervous about this one, because at one point I thought, yeah, we've definitely moved past Rangers. I even said it. It become less intimidating to play against them almost. But that game at the end of last season has made me think, yeah, we've probably regressed a bit. They've probably improved a bit, I would say. So I expect this to be a really tough game. I'm hoping it's not going to be as open. I am going to change the tactics for us for this game, but we'll get into that in a bit. And at the moment, I've just got to say, Seedorf is getting a lot of media loving. He's getting a lot of media attention. Every single game they're asking, is he going to play? I suppose they'd ask if he didn't, why didn't he play? And this, that and the other. They're really loving the guy at the minute. Not sure what's gone on there, but yeah, literally every game there's at least one question, either before or after the game, about Seedorf. So yeah, there's a lot of pressure from the press to keep playing him. At the moment though, Thomas playing the way that he is, he's probably going to lose his place to Seedorf if he keeps going the way he's going. At the moment, he keeps getting more and more chances, literally because of we're having to rotate the squad and keep everyone fit. But that's not going to continue if he doesn't improve his performances as soon as the fixture list settles down a bit. But in any event, we'll get into the squad and the team that's picked for the Rangers game in a bit, because we've now had our information back on the right backs that we've been looking at. And this is a nice little surprise package here for Long. He looks a decent player. High and medium work rates as well. 3-star, 3-star. His wages are a bit of an issue, but his value is not an issue at all. So he's definitely a contender for O'Donnell's position. We got this guy here, Emmanuel, a couple of years younger. Wow. That I wasn't expecting at all. He's a real athlete, this guy, and he's quite solid as well, technically. And he's definitely affordable. He could be one who's in pole position for either O'Donnell or Millen's place. I'm looking at him and Furlong, and I'm thinking that with the wage difference, I think Emmanuel probably takes pole position for maybe even O'Donnell's place. We've got Duncan here from New York Red Bulls, I believe it is. He should be readily affordable as well. It says he can play left back and right back, but his weak foot would worry me about playing him out of on the left side. So I don't know about him yet. We've got Carlos Isaac here from Atletico. Again, fairly solid, only 2-star skill moves, which doesn't really matter. I don't use them often, if at all anyway. But again, a 3-star weak foot, which is good. Calabria looks a real player. 80 overall. I don't believe, except for Tonali, we've got one of those in the squad yet. But he would basically blow our budget, so yeah, he's probably not going to be getting the nod. We got Bellerin, who's more of the same. We don't need to look over him, we already know about Bellerin. Amati, I'm not sure what his wages would be, but to me, looking through his stats, he looks more of a centre back than a full back to me. Not really sure what I'm feeling about him at the moment. Again, Premier League wages on this game, if you're not in the Premier League yourself, are just absolute killers. So I'm expecting more of the same here from Rasmussen as well. It's not too bad, 3 and 3, but I don't really rate him much compared to Duncan, so he can go as well. Maitland-Niles would definitely be the shout out the lot of them if he wasn't on extortionate wages as well. So for me at the moment, it's between Furlong, Duncan and Emmanuel. And I've got to say, out of the 3 of them, Emmanuel would be my first choice. And purely out of, I'm already thinking before we even approached anyone here about what squad roles they're going to ask for and wages, because if we get Emmanuel in, obviously Duncan is going to be his cover. So yeah, we don't need to be paying through the nose and someone who's on an important squad role and everything for cover. So we'll probably look at that, probably getting them in during either the end of this episode or maybe the next one. We'll see how things develop, but now we are going to get into this Rangers game. We're away as well, which is going to add something to it. We're going to go obviously full squad, and again, saw me hover over Thomas there, but Seedorf's not got enough stamina to go in and play in his position again. We're going to just rein the full-backs in for this game, because I forgot to do that when we played them last time, and I honestly think that's probably how we got exposed. So yeah, much more switched on today, and hopefully that means we can go out there, give them a good game, and maybe even beat them, who knows. So guys, it's Rangers away, like I said. Hopefully we can beat them. I did look to see, because there was an update for the game before I switched it on today, and I did look in the Motherwell game, and we have only gone and got back the lineups. No longer is everybody undefined, which was really annoying. Rangers last season, was it last season or the beginning of this one? I remember seeing something about someone being interested in Ryan Kent, so hopefully they haven't got him today, which would be a huge plus for us. They have made a few changes, as you saw in their lineup. You've seen ours already, but I missed it, so I'm going to let it run. It just adds that extra something to me for the game. Hopefully we'll be a lot more solid against them today. Now we have reined the full backs in, and that's going to be something that happens a lot this season. Depending who we play against, we're going to be tweaking tactics and this, that and the other, and instead of me just doing it like I normally would off camera, I'm going to show you guys what we're doing, just to make it that bit more immersive. So we've still got our front four, all, if you count the striker, all basically having free roles. We're a bit deeper than we were against Motherwell and against Warsaw, just showing Rangers that little bit of respect. And yeah, our forwards are not just going to mindlessly bomb on in this one, because as you can see there, they tried to get in down there already, and probably that game at the end of last season they actually would have got in here. Instead we get the offside trap, but it's obvious that they were going to go and try and do what they did at the end of the last game, but this time we had it covered. Hazard there just ran into his man and fell over looking for a free kick, which even I know that was not a free kick. Jones there has just burnt Valenzuela, which is a bit worrying. That's going to be something to keep eye on in this game. Thankfully the cross goes straight into Butland's hands, and he doesn't punch it or nothing, which is nice to see as well. He actually catches it, so that allows us now to just throw it out and build out from the back. So we're just ticked over to half an hour, and it has been all Rangers. Credit where it's due. They've been really lively, really sharp, really quick in the passing, the moving, everything. Oh, he's done my defender there and got the shot off as well at the near post, which is, as we all know, frightening on FIFA 20, but Butland's covered his near post well there. We've blocked the cross from coming in as well. And do we win the second ball? We do indeed. Can we get it out now? We have got it out nicely up the line. This is what we're relying on at the moment, has been counters. Rangers have completely been in control of this game. That's a beautiful back heel out, and Cruz now has put another one in. It's our second league goal of the season. It's Cruz's second league goal of the season, and at the moment I would say he's filling in for Incy quite nicely. I did question it. I says he would need a few games just to see how he plays and how he manages, but he's still got a lot to do at this point. Defenders coming across, keepers coming out, but he's kept his composure. He's found the corner. It is closer to the keeper than it looked. Probably should have done better there. It was probably the pace that's beat him, but we don't mind that one little bit. It's his second league start and his second league goal, so can't really ask for much more out of him. And that might just relieve some of the pressure. Again, it's come against the run of play, just like against Legia in the game we just done. But yeah, we are 1-0 up, so again we've been clinical with our chances, and that's all we can continue to keep doing. We're playing it and trying to just slow it down a bit and actually have a bit of possession ourselves. As you can see, Rangers have had the lion's share of it. We've been under the pump a lot, but now we've got that goal, maybe that'll just settle things down. Oh, that's a nice little ball through to Parrott, who has gone clean through now, and surely it is 2-0. And that is really, really unfair on Rangers, but once again, we don't care. That's Parrott off the mark now as well, which is good for us, because I have been thinking, if you include the Champions League as well, the game against Motherwell, Legia, again against Rangers today, up until this point, the forwards have been almost non-existent, so it's good to see Parrott getting back on the score sheet today. And that is us 2-0 up now, completely against the run of play. Rangers have got to be absolutely fuming. It might even be the case that it's 2 chances and 2 goals for us. But again, that's us being clinical in these big games, and the big games that hopefully we'll get in the Champions League as well. We're definitely going to have to be on our A game finishing wise. We did struggle, remember, towards the end of last season to get the ball in the back of the net, so yeah, it's good to see us being so sharp in front of goal at the moment. We will create more chances, sorry. I hope we don't concede more as the season goes on. I don't feel like we've had easy game, as it were, all season at the moment. 2 Champions League qualifiers, Rangers and Motherwell, that we always struggle against, so we've not gone up against the team I would expect us to play well and beat every time at the moment. So the fact that we have done so, got the results and done what we've done at the moment, is definitely a positive, and I would say that's probably half time now, isn't it? It is indeed. So we go in at the break 2-0 up, after being solid but not free flowing or anything like that. But at the moment, I'll take it. It's a result. It's a good result as long as we can hold on to it as well. So we're 65 minutes into the game now. It's another bad ball there. We've struggled to keep hold of the ball today. We really have. Rangers have had us under the pump in this second half as well. Not a lot has changed between the first and the second half. The pattern of the game has stayed true to what it was in the first. It's changed time for Rangers now though. They've just brought on a sub. Arfield's come off, and yeah, we need to see this out more than anything now. We don't need to go and win a game that we've already won, and it makes sense to just keep the ball and not lose what we've got. And that looks like what I was thinking when we was playing this game as well, with that last couple of passes. We're just squaring it off to Tonali now. Thomas does nothing with it yet again. I mentioned him in the Champions League game as well. He's had another really poor game today. Caught in possession again there, as you can see. And yeah, I don't understand what's gone on with him at the moment. Normally he'll drive at defences, he'll beat a man or commit a man or something. He got 10 goals and 10 assists last season. He's not looked even half of that kind of player at the moment this season. But the player behind him is still O'Donnell at this point. Parrott still up front for him to supply. Oh man, we just concede a goal as well. That's not good, not with 15 minutes left as well. Oh, Arfield must have came on and not come off. Yeah, that's really not good. That's threw me off a little bit. But yeah, no one's changed. The only change in the team at the moment is Ince. So the system's not changed, formation's not changed, so I'm really confused of what's happening with Thomas at the minute. But just watch this. Another unforced error. His confidence is just completely shot, and I just do not understand why. But yeah, he's under real consideration to be gone in this transfer window the way he started. We can't hold on to players like that with the kind of games that we're going to have coming up. He's not even a sub, he's a first team player at the moment, so we need him to be better than what he's doing. And Rangers almost there as we get our heads back into the game, almost score again. They've got a corner now, we need to deal with this. And Butland does. His handling is superb. He's not punching anything, he's catching everything. That is a real plus for us to have, and we can once again now try and play it out from the back. Gone into the midfield now. O'Donnell just plays it back to Tonali, back from Yearwood to Robinson, plays it back across to Okore. We're just trying to see this game out now, as you can see. We have got Parrott in again. Can he wrap this game up now? He's not gone near post this time. He's gone across the keeper. It has ended up in the back of the net, and that is definitely now game, set and match. We've put Rangers to bed at last. They got into the game scoreline wise for about 5 or 10 minutes, but we find another ball through to Parrott. Chances again have been at a premium for us in this one, but when we've had them, we've took them, and that's gonna be enough. I would imagine now that's his second goal, both coming in this game as well, and that should be enough now to get the points out of this game as well. We'll just let Rangers run the clock down now if that's what they're gonna do. I was a bit nervous when it went to 2-1 because they've got the talent in their squad definitely to just go and score, but I can't see them getting 2 now. You can see as well that's an age-old thing when you're playing against the way Rangers play. Their players' stamina is completely shot, so that'll help us out as well. Just keep them running into the ground, and that's what we're doing here. Robinson composed as ever. Thomas can't get to that first though, and there might be one more chance for them here. They're coming back down this side again, but O'Donnell's sorted that out as quick as they got the ball. He won it back. He's played a safe one there, back to Butland. Okore now, it's played into the middle, but that's the end of the game. It's a bit hard on Rangers, but who cares about that? We've got the points. Decent enough performance. That's probably how I would sum it up at the moment. We're doing enough to win games, and if that continues, we'll be absolutely fine. We are going to be looking to strengthen the squad as well, as I've mentioned. So yeah, it's a positive start to the season so far. We've still got the other Champions League game to get through yet, and obviously tackle whatever happens in between now and then. So yeah, positive start at the minute. Really happy with how it's going. And just confirmation there, we are back into the Champions League next. That is going to be highlights, guys, for sure. Like I said, I'd be really disappointed if we weren't to go on and win the league now. Win the tie, sorry. We are looking at the league now. All of the league action is out of the way for this episode, so as you can see, we're in third at the minute, done absolutely the same as what Aberdeen have done. Crucially, we see Rangers and Celtic underneath us. Obviously Celtic do have the game in hand. Hearts have started well at the moment, 2 games, 4 goals, none against. It's Ross County sitting bottom at the moment. But yeah, really good start domestically. We've got a hard game, and I would call the other one more of an awkward game out the way. So we're going to have highlights of this one. We'll leave it at Hamilton. Decent enough game there, I think, to come back to. And yeah, that will do it for this episode. Obviously, between now and then, something could happen off the pitch. Like this, for example, we've got a transfer offer for Valenzuela, and it is for £13 million. That's a lot of money. He is a good player. He is our first team left back, but that is a lot of money. If memory serves, we paid a release clause for him. It was around 3.5 to 4 million. So even if you say it was 4 million, that's a £9 million profit we would be making there. And like I keep saying, and I'll keep reiterating it at the moment, that's where we are. We're a selling club at the minute when bringing these players in, trying to improve them, improve their values, and that's definitely a model that's working at the moment. But we're not going to sell him just yet. We'll see what we can get first. We've also got to keep focused, because if we don't, we could quite easily slip up in this Champions League qualifier. Obviously we don't want that happening, so we'll get into the highlights of that now, and we'll look at what happens with Valenzuela after. So we do make a quick start at our place. We did create much more here than we did at theirs. Junior trying to get his eye in there on his left foot, but unfortunately it wasn't to be for him this time. We carry on creating, and as you can see, Balbuena gets the start today, and he gets his heels clipped as he went to shape to shoot there, and the ball harmlessly runs out for a goal kick, unfortunately. But we did continue on trying to create chances and trying to win on the night as well. And as you can see here, Junior just twists and turns, takes the defender completely out of the game. We couldn't get anywhere near him. He smashes it into the far corner, and that is us 1-0 up on the night. I'm feeling a lot more confident in the tie now. Back to 3 goals ahead in total in the tie. Here, tries to get Robinson to cover the cross. There's a attacker coming on the edge of the box that I just could get nowhere near at that point, and he took one away for the equaliser. But we wouldn't be denied. We went forward again, and Balbuena with a brilliant first touch gets himself into a good position. Defenders just too slow to react, just like Junior's goal smashed across the keeper. That is us winning at the moment 2-1 on the night. They do come again here, Legia. Nice driven shot across the floor, but Silva back in today as well. Makes a comfortable save, and that is us winning 2-1 on the night, through in the tie. And Balbuena does get one more chance here, but the keeper unfortunately gets his hand to it. So yeah, we're through to, I believe, the next round of qualifiers. Not too sure how that works with FIFA, whether there is just the 1 or the 2 rounds or more than 2 rounds, really not too sure. But we do get an offer here for O'Donnell, which I believe was around 3.5 million. I can't quite read it properly on this screen. 3.2, which is above what he's worth. So again, I mentioned it earlier, he was one on the list that we should probably cash in on if we can. And after further thought about Balbuena, it's a good offer. I really am struggling on whether I want to let him go or not, and I'm thinking, you know what, if Besiktas can stretch to another couple of million, then I'll probably let him go. But yeah, whether they do or not, well, we'll find out right now. If they walk out and they try and give any less than 15 million, I'm going to say no. I know it's only a couple of million more, but we're not a rich club, so every million helps us. And he is one of our better players on the other side of that coin, so we're not going to waste any time. We'll actually, just in case they try and knock us down, we'll go 16 million. But I'm not taking no less than 15, so we'll see what they say to this. If they refuse, we'll come back with a 15. If not, we've got a deal, and we have actually got a deal. So Valenzuela could definitely now be on his way out. So we need to go and look at some left backs as well. I think I'm set with who we want for right back now. But this video has gone on now for almost an hour, so I'll probably leave that one, to be honest, until the next episode now, guys. We've got Hamilton coming up in a few days, and we do have the other round of Champions League qualifiers, and we get Dynamo Zagreb, so that's going to be a toughie, and that will leave us with a lot of games in the next episode again as well. So probably 2 out of those 3 league games will probably end up being highlights, but we'll sort that out when it comes to it. For now, guys, I just want to thank you all for watching again. It's been a real busy old start to the season. Really enjoyed it. Absolutely buzzing to be in the Champions League. Hope you're all enjoying it too and excited for the next episode. And for me, that is going to be it, and I will see you in that one. And just as I say that, we get another offer coming in for Milan, which we're just going to accept, and we will now move to the Hamilton game. And we have another offer coming now for Milan, and we'll accept that one as well, just in case he doesn't take the first one. And that is now definitely gonna be it, guys. I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.